So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing Bradford City versus Newport County. And in the second part of today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my League 2 Game Week 3 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy, make sure you drop a like on it. 70 likes as always would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell, and it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your score predictions down in the comment section down below, as well as the team that you would go with if you were Marky. But let's waste no further time and get straight on with today's video. So if we start out then with the League 2 table, my team Bradford City currently sit 15th in the table. After 2 games, we've got 0 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, 2 goals scored, 3 goals conceded, leaving us on a -1 goal difference and 1 point. Our last couple of matches then have been a 2-1 home win against Hull City in the first round of the Carabao Cup, a 3-2 defeat away to Barrow, and a 0-0 draw at home to Doncaster Rovers. That then compared to Newport County, they're sat a couple of places below us in the table. They're currently sat 17th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 2 games, they've got 0 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, 1 goal scored, 2 goals conceded, leaving them on a -1 goal difference and 1 point. Newport's last couple of games, then they had a 3-2 win away to Luton Town in the first round of the Carabao Cup. I do believe Dion Pereira got an assist in that game as well, the former Bradford City man, obviously. He is now back at Luton, and Nathan Jones has confirmed that if either him or Mendes Gomes is to go out on loan this season, it will be to League 1 clubs, which is a bit of a shame, but we've just got to move on now. Previously, though, to that 3-2 win away at Luton, they had a 1-0 loss, at home to Walsall. Walsall also going down to 10 men in that game, obviously. Michael Flynn facing against his former side. Then on the opening day of the season, they had a 1-1 draw away to Sutton United. So not a great start to the season for either side. Both teams only picking up 1 point out of the first 2 league games and then beating a championship club in the first round of the Carabao Cup. It's going to be a tough game. Newport are a good side, but now we're going to speak about the team that I would go with if I was Mark Hughes. So I would go with a 4-2-3-1 formation. I'd go, obviously, Harry Lewis in goal. Didn't really have too much to do against Hull on Tuesday. Was very unlucky with the own goal. Made a fantastic save originally to tip it onto the bar, then as it bounces down, it just hits him off the back and goes in. I thought his distribution wasn't the greatest against Hull, and I can't say I've been overly impressed with Harry Lewis's distribution, but I think it's not been the end of the world, and I do also think he's a very good shot stopper, and obviously he's our number 1, so I've got Harry Lewis in goal. Right back, I've gone with Brad Halliday. I thought he was one of the few bright sparks against Barrow. I thought he was fantastic against Hull, obviously made that goal line clearance in the second half from that corner. I think Halliday, apart from Doncaster, where I don't think he was the greatest, I think whenever he has played, I think he's been exceptional and was arguably man of the match on Tuesday night, so I'll go with him at right back. 2 centre-backs, firstly I've gone with Matty Platt. Was poor against Barrow, and I think everybody saw that, especially in that second half, but against Hull he looked back to his normal self and was very commanding from corners, from free kicks. He was winning pretty much everything in the air, so I'd go with Matty Platt in centre-half. Partnered with, obviously, Romany Critchlow. Was decent against Barrow, maybe could have done a little bit better for the 3rd goal, like Matty Platt could have done a bit better for the 2nd goal, but against Hull I thought Critchlow was absolutely fantastic. You know, some of the players they were having to put up against, like Malik Wilkes, Randall Williams, and other quality championship players, and I thought the full-back 4 dealt with it fairly well. Left back, I've gone with Matty Folds, because against Barrow, Liam Ridehalgh was awful. He was absolutely awful. Against Hull, first half I thought he was poor. Second half I thought he was decent. He did very well to keep players like Williams and Wilkes quiet when they were interchanging with each other, but I just think overall I'd like to see Matty Folds get a go. I don't think he'll go with Matty Folds. I think he will go with Liam Ridehalgh, but if I was to be Mark Hughes and I was picking the team, I would personally go with Matty Folds. Moving into the 2 in central midfield, firstly Richie Smallwood again. Don't think he was great against Barrow, but was back to what we have seen from Richie Smallwood against obviously his former side Hull. I'm sure he was loving it when obviously we beat them in the end. He was getting some boos from some Hull fans. The majority of them were clapping him though, as he obviously was their captain last season. It never really makes sense to me when people boo a player who left the club. Not left the club, he was released by the club, so they clearly thought he wasn't good enough, and he was absolutely fantastic on Tuesday night. First half an hour wasn't the greatest. His set pieces weren't the greatest as well, but after that I thought he pretty much did everything that he needed to and was absolutely fantastic in there. Partnering him, I've gone with Ryan East. I think he'll probably go Alex Gilead, but I've gone with Ryan East. I was very impressed with what I saw from Ryan East off the bench on Tuesday night. He, wasn't great against Barrow whatsoever. I don't think it was his greatest game, but off the bench against Hull, I think he was only on for about 10 minutes. Him and Sutton came on at the same time, but I thought going from like a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-5-1 flat with Smallwood as the more sitting one and then East and Sutton as the 2 pressers, I thought it really worked very well. If we are only 1 goal up, I think using that going forward to see a game out is definitely the way to go. But I'd personally go with Ryan East. I do think he'll go with Alex Gilead though. Right wing, I've gone with Scott Banks. Don't really have too many fit wingers at the moment. He's probably the only natural right winger. Don't think his first half an hour of his debut was great, but after that he grew into the game. His set pieces are a joke. Some of them corners he was putting in are absolutely fantastic. It's just a shame we didn't really have anyone attacking the ball. But I personally think Scott Banks had a decent debut overall. There's definitely a very good player in there with flair, with pace, and obviously he can take a set piece as well. In that number 10 position, I've gone with Harry Chapman. Obviously, Jamie Walker's going to be out for a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months, which is a massive blow to us. I'm obviously recording this before the press conference, so that will probably have been confirmed officially by the time that you guys see this video. But I've gone with Harry Chapman in that number 10 position. I don't think he was great whatsoever against Borough. I made my opinions very clear about his attitude and all that sort of stuff. But on Tuesday night, he was pressing on the ball. I mean, he should have scored, definitely. Like, on the ball, he seems to be just a yard off the pace, maybe, but he was actually, doing a lot of running, which you don't really see from many attacking midfielders. I know, obviously, it's hard to compare to Jamie Walker, because Jamie Walker runs and runs and runs and never stops running no matter what. So, to compare him to Jamie Walker, I think, he's fighting a losing battle, really. But as a number 10, I'd like to see Harry Chapman start on Saturday. Left wing, I've gone with Jake Young. Against Barry, completely changed the game, was direct and brings you some pace. If you have two pacey wingers who are not scared to take a player on, I think that does give you a very good outlet. So I've got Jake Young on the left wing. He was taken off after an hour against Hull. Wasn't his greatest game against Hull. I don't think he really did all too much, but I think with how well he affected the game against Barrow, to then drop him again after a performance like that, I think would be very harsh. So I'd personally go Jake Young on the left wing, but I wouldn't be too surprised to maybe see Chapman on the left and maybe Gilead in the 10, or Lee Angle start on the left wing. And obviously up front, I would go with Andy Cook. Scored 3 goals in about an hour of football, really. Clearly, Andy Cook knows that he needs to keep scoring goals to stay in the side, but I think he's been a level above Vide and Oliver. Oliver doesn't really look too interested, to be honest with you, and Andy Cook's scoring goals, so you can't drop a striker who is scoring goals. Scored a brace against the Championship side. He's a handful. He's not the most solid striker in the world, but he does win quite a lot in the air, so I would go with Andy Cook up front. On the bench, for me, that would leave Colin Doyle, Timmy Odesina, Liam Rydalch, Levi Sutton, Alex Gilead, Lee Angle, and Vide and Oliver, which means players who miss out would be Heath Richardson, Luke Hendry, Oscar Thorelkeld, Reece Staunton. Jan Songo doesn't even make my bench. I was debating maybe do you drop a Sutton or a Gilead, but with Odesuna being on the bench, do you really need a Songo on there? Which is a shame, because I absolutely love Songo, but I don't think he actually makes the bench anymore. That would also leave out Osadibe, Jamie Walker, Kean Skills, Abo Issa, and Kean Harrett. Now we're going to go through my League 2 Game Week 3 score predictions. So AFC Wimbledon versus Doncaster Rovers, I am going to go with a 2-1 home win for Wimbledon. Bradford City versus Newport County, I'm going to back the boys for a 1-0 home win. Carlisle United versus Swindon Town, I'm going to go with a 2-0 home win for Carlisle. Harrogate versus Crawley, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Harrogate. Leyton Orient versus Mansfield, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Northampton Town versus Hartlepool United, I'm going to go with a 3-1 home win for Northampton. Rochdale versus Grimsby, I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Grimsby. Salford versus Crewe, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Salford. Stockport versus Colchester, I'm going to go with a 3-0 home win for Stockport. Sutton versus Barrow, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Sutton. Tranmere versus Gillingham, I'm going to go with a 2-1 home win for Tranmere. Then Walsall versus Stevenage, I am going to go with a 2-2 draw. But that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure you drop a like on it. 70 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, would be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your score predictions as well as your lineup for this game down in the comment section down below. Shout out to our current tier 2 channel member Dylan Broadhead and our current tier 3 channel member B Davies 211. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you all very soon for another video. Peace.